Good morning, here we go. I'm going to be making my healthy chili today for all of you to see. Let me show you the ingredients we'll be using. We'll be using some crushed tomatoes, possibly cannellini white kidney beans, red kidney beans, which are our favorite, more diced tomatoes. I'm going to make it a little bit on the soupy side, so might use some vegetable broth. We have black beans, so probably 3 types of beans total. Now this is going to be a tofu chili with Doug's famous crumbled tofu recipe. We need garlic, onions. We have a red pepper in the fridge, so might as well just get rid of that. We got habaneros to heat it up a little bit. And then our spices, many things like red pepper flakes, chipotle, paprika, a lot of chili, garlic powder, salt. Of course, there's pepper back here, and cayenne pepper, smoky paprika that I got for Christmas, and cumin, which is Michelle's favorite. She loves that cumin. So we're gonna get the ingredients ready and get started, and we'll be back to you in a second. Okay, we're back, and that was the ingredients. Now we did forget one, and that's corn, which we always add to our chili. And this is what the tofu looks like once it's out of the package. And Michelle is gonna show us how to press the water out of your tofu.
Okay, so what you've already done is you've already actually drained the tofu in a sink so you don't have all that water and stuff here. So what I like to do is take a nice paper plate, put it on a regular plate, and then get a towel. Make friends with your dish towels that are gonna accept all this nice juicy goodness. You're gonna take your tofu. You'll see it's still kind of soggy a little bit. You're gonna put it on your towel that's on your paper plate, that's on your plate. Cover that up, and you're gonna find something nice and heavy, like a heavy fry pan, and you're just gonna put it on there and let it sit and press out water for about 15 or 20 minutes.
What kind of fry pan is that you're using, Michelle?
It looks like a skillet of some sort.
Cast iron, huh?
Looks like a cast iron heavy.
When was it made? In 1918?
It looks old because it's heavy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna press it down, and then you're periodically going to just move your tofu around so that all the moisture starts to get out and absorb into all these other places here. So you can put it like that and then move it to the side for about 15 minutes. Periodically checking it and getting all that stuff out. That's it, easy.
Thank you. Okay, so as our tofu is drying out and getting all the water out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our ingredients ready that need to be prepped. We call that mise en place in the cooking world. So we've got our garlic, onion, pepper, and habaneros. So let's get those going. First, let's start with the onion. We're gonna get that cleaned up a little bit. And we're just gonna do a rough chop with the onion, nothing too fancy because it's gonna go into the saute pan to saute with our tofu. And then of course it's going to go into our chili mixture and cook for the rest of the afternoon. So it doesn't have to be too fancy. We might even put these bits in that are a little tough because those will melt down also. So just a little bit of a chop, nothing too exciting. I don't need to do anything fancy with this. And we'll get our onions going here. Let's see, we'll chop up, looking good. I like a lot of onion in the chili, plus it's a vegetable, which we have to eat more vegetables these days. So we're just gonna go over here with this, and then we'll get started on our pepper. So, okay, with the pepper, we're just gonna use this. I'm gonna do probably small pieces of pepper because I don't like red peppers or things like that in our chili. But since we have it in the pantry, we're gonna use it up a little bit. So we'll go into thin slices different ways to chop your vegetables, but with chili, you don't need anything fancy. You just need them to get in there and cook down. We're gonna cook this chili a long time because it's a cold winter day outside. We don't really need to make it and have it ready at any particular time. So when you're eating more vegetables, it's fun to cook to make it more enjoyable, because not eating meat is not as enjoyable as eating vegetable, or is eating meat. So we've got garlic clove here. I don't know. How many do you want to put in, Michelle? A bunch? Three? Let's do 4.
Okay.
Sorry. Save that for another day. That's 3. Let's do 4. So we're just going to bash these down a little bit to crack the skins and get those peeled pretty easily. That one went good. Some people like to wear gloves when they crack their garlic, so their hands don't smell like garlic the rest of the day, but I don't mind. Gives me a sense of accomplishment in my day when I smell my garlic later on my fingers, because you can wash it and wash it and wash it, and the smell doesn't come off too easily. So some people would mince their garlic, which is fun and good because you get a lot of really small pieces that disintegrate. But I don't like using the mincer because the mincer gets clogged up. It's just a thing. Now some people would smash it like this to mince it, which you can do. We're gonna go at it. Go. There we go. And the garlic is going to go with the onions here because they cook at the same time in a saute pan. And what we're going to do with these ingredients is we're going to use them to make our crumbled spicy tofu that we're going to put into the chili. And it's something that I invented here at the Salzman house after trying to figure out many ways to make tofu. Now we have the habanero, which we don't cook with a lot, but we're going to do it this time. So we're going to make our spicy tofu with 1 habanero, which might be a bad idea, but we're going to do it and see what happens. And I'm going to reserve these other 2 in case I want to put them into the chili. So we're going to dice this up, seeds and all, pretty well. It's important to get your peppers like this, which is a spicy pepper. This is a pretty hot pepper. And you can already smell it and feel it in your throat. The heat is coming off the pepper. A lot of people would not cut peppers up with their fingers because they're just so darn spicy. But I don't care. It's not going to kill me. So I'll try to get these down into little bits because it's those little bits that you want. You want to get the pepper as evenly distributed and small as you can into your mix, because a big slice of habanero in someone's mouth is not going to be enjoyable. So you want to distribute the heat, but you don't want to have a pepper bite, a huge pepper bite. So let's just really get this small as can be. And see where we go from there. Yeah, just one more time through, I think. Okay, so there we go with our pepper, and we're gonna set that aside on a separate plate and hope that it's not too much heat for our potted chili. So that's all that we've got to get ready in advance. So we're gonna wrap up for now and go to the next step here in a minute. Thanks so much. Okay, so we're back, and now what we're gonna do is crush our tofu. So we take the tofu that Michelle has drained and dried, and we're gonna get that ready to crush it down into little pieces, similar to like a ground beef consistency. So we've got it in a bowl here, and I'm gonna use just this little mixer whisker to kind of just crumble it up a little bit and get all the big chunks out. We'll also crumble it more in the pan when we're frying it. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna fry it and season it, and then after it sets up a little bit with the flavor of the saute, brown it, kind of like ground beef would be brown. We're going to add it to our chili. So that looks pretty good. Let's just go a little bit more here and see what we have. I think that's good for now. Let's get this going. And you see what we have here. How's the visual in that? Got it? Okay, so we're gonna get ready to saute this up. Thanks so much.
Go.
Okay, so now we're gonna get our crumble tofu, brown tofu ready. So we're gonna hit some heat here, and we'll get our olive oil added. Just enough to, well, the tofu is gonna absorb a lot. So let's get the onions going and get those sauteed up. And once we do, we'll go onions and garlic, and then we'll go green pepper, and then we'll toss the tofu in on a higher heat and get that started. So while our oil's heating up here, you can tell your oil's hot when it starts to flow easily. You don't want to burn your oil. You just want to get it hot so you get a little bit of sizzle on the onions and garlic, and then you're going to turn it back some to get those sauteed down. So that's probably close. Let's get that going. So we have a little bit of a sizzle. And I like to cook the onions a while, usually 5 to 7 minutes, because then you get that nice, soft, sweet onion flavor out of them. So those are mixed in pretty good. And then we're going to saute those down. But you want to hit them with a few layers of salt and a little bit of pepper. You want to just add layers into your, as you're building thing, add layers of flavor into it. It makes it a lot better item. So that's going to wrap us up for our sauteing. And after this cooks down a little bit, we'll get right back. Okay, so we've got a nice saute going on our onions. We're going to add in our green peppers.
The red.
Oh, sorry, red peppers. Thanks, Michelle. And get those mixed in. Get those cooking in the oil. Get those flavored with the garlic and onion. And I think we're going to go ahead and turn up the heat and get the tofu added. The tofu is going to take a while to brown, but if you're not in a rush, you have plenty of time to get it to where you want it to be. So there we go. It's going to need a little bit more crushing, it looks like, which we'll just do with our spatula here. Crumbling. Now we're just going to be gentle with it in the beginning because we want that extra moisture to get out of there before we crumble it up too much. We don't want it to turn into mush, but we want it to be a ground consistency, like I said before, similar to ground beef. But we're going to get this mixed up real good here, and we're going to saute this down. It's probably going to take about 7 or 8 minutes, and we're going to hit that with some flavor. So we'll probably do some smoked paprika to give it that smoky meat flavor, and we're going to do some chili. And of course some salt and pepper on the tofu. We'll turn back the heat a little bit. Looks like we might need a little bit more olive oil. And then we'll get that combined to mix those flavors up. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna let that cook down, and then we'll be back when it's almost ready. Okay, so this is sauteing down. It's getting a nice brown on it. We've hit it with more seasoning, but I think what we're going to do is add some of the habaneros in to start to heat this up a little bit. Now, we're not going to add all the habaneros in because I just don't think that's a good idea. We don't want the meat to be so terribly spicy that it's not enjoyable. So we're just going to put probably 1/4 of the habanero in here. And we're going to saute those up a little bit and get those working. And then what we'll do is mix those into the ingredients here. So those are warmed up, going good. Maybe just a little bit more. And then we will start to fold this in with the habaneros. And we're going to really mix this up well now because we don't want those habaneros to stick together. We want them spread out through the entire mixture just to be on the safe side. And you see how that's really getting nice and brown and frying up. Me and Susie and Mommy Michelle made a seasoned tofu last weekend, and it was very similar to this that we used for a few different things. We used it a little bit in a soup. If you wanted to add some, you could. And then we also made a spicy vegetable burrito the next day with hummus and vegetables and some of this ground tofu mixture in the burrito. So that's in pretty good shape there. We'll hit this a little bit longer, and then the next time you'll see that is when it's ready to go into the chili. All right, so we're gonna start putting our chili together. This is not really a recipe, it's just a home field kind of chili. We're gonna go in with a big diced tomato and another small diced tomato. No, this is a crushed tomato. So it gives you a couple different consistencies. And then I think we're gonna go ahead and go in with our habanero, because I think the earlier we start cooking those, the better off we'll be. And then we have beans. These are rinsed black beans. Those will go in. We also have drained drained red kidney beans. I'm going to save the cannellini beans for later, just in case we need more beans. But I'm going to get this up to temperature, and we're going to try to cook these beans down to where they're really soft. So we're going to add in some vegetable broth and get that flavored. You can mix this all around a little bit, and then what we're going to do is start seasoning. So we're going to go in with chili. So you need a lot of chili. And we'll do some smoked paprika for flavor. And we'll do a little bit of ground paprika, regular paprika. Of course, those are all just peppers. We'll do some red pepper for flavor. Red pepper flakes, and we know that's spicy because we've used it already. A little chipotle. A little garlic. A little bit of cumin. Michelle likes that cumin. And just a little bit of cayenne. Shouldn't need too much heat. Get some salt in there. And some pepper. And then we will get this mixed up and going and get that flavor going. So you want to look for a rich pepper consistency of that chili getting mixed in there. You want your tomatoes to be cooked down for a long time in that chili flavor. And then this is really the first layer of flavoring that we're going to do. We're going to let this cook for quite some time, and then we're going to check the salt, check the pepper, check the chili. We'll almost definitely be adding more chili to this as it goes along in the process. So that looks like a pretty good batch. We don't want to make too much today because our freezer's kind of full. But we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to cover it and then start simmering it for a while. So there we go. That's it so far. Thanks. We'll see you in a little while. Okay, so we're back now, and this is up to a boil. So we're going to check it and turn it down. Oh yeah, it's doing well. Oh, and you can feel the spices come out already. I got a whiff of habanero as I took that top off. And so the color is looking pretty good. There's a lot of tomato in it. It's looking pretty good. We're not going to do anything now except for turn it down to a simmer. And we're probably going to let it go for about a half an hour and see how it shapes up under a simmer. And then we'll try it and hit it with some more seasoning once we try it. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back with Dugout cooking. And this has been cooking for 30 minutes. It's been simmering in our seasonings. And so let's see how it looks. Looks like it needs more color when it comes to chili. It's got a good chili fragrance, but it has a lot of tomatoey fragrance too. So let's just stir it up a little bit and we'll give it a taste. Helper with the spoon, please. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, let's see what we have here. Just a little bit of flavor. It's got heat. That's enough heat. That's good heat. I don't think it needs any more heat. Has a lot of tomato. I'm reluctant to add sugar, but I think I will add a little bit. Michelle, could you get a little bit? Salt is good. Pepper's good. It needs more chili. Could you give me a little sugar?
What kind of sugar?
What kind would you put in?
Brown sugar.
Okay, so a little bit of brown sugar. I'm going to hit it with more chili powder because I like a really dark, rich chili. I do like a dark, rich chili. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of cumin so Michelle gets that cumin bite when she tries it. And then I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in it. That's a lot, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just going to hit it with a pinch of sugar.
Stop.
There we go. And let's give it a stir and see. Now, most likely, this is going to be good for a while. Let's get all these bits off the side and give it a good stir. That is a little darker. Let's give it a little bit more. We're a little bit worried about the tofu, like Molly, how that will do for us. If it's going to break down or not. So I'm going to save that and add it when I add the corn later. That's a good chili flavor. Good chili flavor. That's a good chili flavor. Give it a little bit more. Like I said, I like mine nice and rich. And I'm just going to do this. Just going to put a couple of these bigger pieces of tofu in to see how they cook, just as an experiment. And we'll find those later today. Okay, so this is going to go back on the simmer. I think it's in pretty good shape. This will go back on the simmer, and we will simmer this for another half hour to an hour and see how that goes. All right, thanks. Okay, so we're back and we're going to check our chili, see how it's going. Let's see how the spices and flavors are now. Take our little top off there. Oh, it's looking good. Looking good, nice and rich. Let's give it a spin. Nothing on the bottom, it's not sticking or anything. Got a few bits on the side, which are always nice to get back in there. So it's looking good. It's got a nice dark color to it. Let's give it a nice stir and see how it's tasting. There's our little bit of tofu we put in. That is holding up okay. It's only been a half an hour, so it's been a half an hour so far. Tastes like tofu. So I'm thinking we should probably put the tofu in to give it a chance to flavor up. Because it is holding up okay. It hasn't broken down in a half an hour. Let's give the sauce a taste. It's got a nice rich color. Let's see if we can see that here. Nice rich color. Yep. So that is going good. It's got a chili flavor, good chili flavor. It's got some heat. It's got a little bit of acidity from the tomatoes, I think. Might need a little more sugar. No, that's a good flavor. I think it is sweet enough. I'm going to hit it with some pepper. I think it needs a little more pepper. And let's see. It's thickening up. And I know that once we add that tofu in, it's going to lose some of its thickness. So let's add some more broth here. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest because it will cook down a lot. And if we put the broth in now, it will give that time to reduce. So I'm going to add in the tofu. Bring this back up to a boil. I'm going to add in the tofu here. Get all that in there. Looks pretty good. Oops. Don't want to lose that. See some little bits of garlic going in. And then let's get this off too. Okay. So that's good. And then we will give it some more stirring to get that mixed in. That looks pretty good. I like that consistency. It is going to cook down. So I think if we cook the tofu in there for quite some time, that will give it a good flavor. See what you think of that. See what you think of that. Okay. So we're going to bring that back up to a boil, and then I'll hit it back down for a simmer, and we'll keep on moving down the road. Say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
What are you doing there?
Sneaking a taste. Ooh, looks like the tofu is holding up nice. I just want to taste the sauce.
Here, get it on camera. Let me see. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good flavor.
Yeah?
Ooh, it's rich. Mm-hmm.
Rich? What about the heat?
It's okay.
It's not too hot, right?
It's not too hot. It's flavor.
That's one habanero.
Yeah, I wouldn't go more than that.
Okay. Oh, does it need anything?
No.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit.
Go.
All right, so we're back. It's been simmering for another 30 minutes. Let's see what we have. Oh, we got nice looking. Very nice looking. Let's give it a stir. Oh. Nice thick consistency. Looks like it's got the right amount of broth. Yeah, that looks good. The tomatoes are nice and rich looking. Let's give it a little taste test here. It smells good. It smells spicy. It's good. It's got heat. I think it could use a little more heat. Definitely could use a little more chili. So let's just give it a little bit more chili. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a dash more cumin. She likes that cumin. And let's see, should we go cayenne or smoked paprika? Let's do smoky paprika. There we go. That's probably going to be the end of the seasonings. And this corn will also sweeten it up some. There we go. So we're going to get that stirred up. Let's get it boiling again. And then we are going to finish this for another half an hour or so to an hour of cooking. And that will be it. It will be ready for the rest of the day. Okay, we'll see you later. Okay, so here we are at the end, and this chili's been simmering for another 30 minutes. So let's take a look at it. Looks good, looks nice and dark and rich. Everything looks incorporated. Let's see, oh yeah. I like the thickness too. Good consistency. Yeah. The chili is coating everything. The seasonings are coating the corn. It's coating the tofu. So everything is looking pretty good here. Let's give it a little taste. Let's give it a little taste. Okay, let's see what we got here. Beans look good. Tomatoes look good. That's good. Beans are soft. Chili's there, flavor. The heat calmed down a little bit. There's a little bit of heat I can feel on my tongue, but it looks like it's done. So there you go. My new tofu chili. Thanks so much. Bye.